just $3,000 in a personal investment, a pandemic side hustle turned into a $5.5 million candy empire. Today, their US-made candy sensation is stocked in 500 stores nationwide and has captured the attention of over 10 million social followers. Together with his wife Mel, he has proven that sweet success is possible in the freeze-dried industry. Please join me in welcoming the co-founder of Trendy Treats, Jesus Marces.
Wow, this many people crazy about freeze dryers. I'm happy I'm not the only one that spent that much time trying to figure it out, changing oil. I want to share 3 core lessons I've learned running my business with my wife in the last 5 years. We launched in 2020 during COVID. Perfect time to go ahead and start something new. Picture this. It's 2 a.m. I'm in my kitchen, surrounded by every single candy you can find at a candy store. And in front of me is this loud spaceship sounding, black washer looking thing, keeping everyone in the house awake. No one was happy that thing was plugged in the kitchen, but I didn't realize when I bought a medium freeze dryer, the outlet was different. And there was only one of those outlets in the house, and it was the one in the kitchen, surrounded by my dad's bedroom, my sister's bedroom, and my bedroom. The good thing is we didn't need to have the heater on. It's keeping the house warm. When I put a small chewy candy into this machine, I think we all know what happens, right? We go. A crunchy, bigger version would come out. I used to think it took the calories out too. Now that would have made me a billionaire. People would always ask me, does it take the calories off? I was just like, it depends. How much are you willing to pay? All jokes aside though, we had been running a candy brand for around a year, and we started freeze drying at the end of 2020. And it wasn't successful, right? We had ups and downs, but we weren't profiting. It didn't look like the start of a multi-million-dollar brand. It looked like another one of my crazy ideas that I swore was gonna make us rich, but usually just made us more broke. Anyone else here really good at starting businesses that lose money?
It's a non-profit.
We had this freeze dryer for around 2 weeks, and it wasn't working. We spent the last of our money buying it because we thought this was gonna be a unique candy for us. Our business model was based around buying snacks from around the world and selling them on social media. During COVID, ports were closed and it was really hard to import candy. So when we first saw a freeze dryer and tried freeze-dried candy, we realized that we could make regular candy exciting. And we could do it inside of our home without having to worry about shipping in other candies that currently weren't being shipped in. And that's how we started freeze-drying candy. But no one wanted it. I was making video after video, posting it, eating it, showing the crunch. It's almost like people didn't get it. I remember going to a convention. It's actually a pet snacks. How many people in here do pet food or pet snacks? But what I found was that freeze-drying was already crushing in the pet industry. And I couldn't find anything about the candy industry and freeze-drying. So I flew to Kansas, I believe it was. I went to a convention for pet food, and it's the only place I could find anything about freeze-drying. We had some freeze-dried companies that are here today. And I remember going up to them and saying, well, which one's the best machine to freeze-dry candy? And I remember getting the response, why are you freeze-drying candy? What are you trying to save it for? I don't think it goes bad. And I'm like, no, it's exciting, it's crunchy, it's a unique snack, and it was really hard to find answers. And I almost gave up on it. I remember I didn't want to commit to an actual purchase of a freeze dryer. So I thought I found a cheaper version on Amazon. And I remember setting it up, filling it up with Jolly Ranchers, turning it on, setting up my phone to time-lapse it all night, only to find my Jolly Ranchers melted the next day, and it destroyed the machine. That's when I learned that a dehydrator and a freeze dryer are not the same thing. And I'm really happy Amazon takes all my returns because I really needed my money back if I was going to keep this company going. We didn't have a commercial kitchen. We didn't have funding. We weren't going viral on social media. It was just two kids trying to figure something out. It started broke. It started broken. We didn't have no FDA or UDAF approved commercial kitchen. I didn't know what labeling for a food product was like. These were all questions that I had. And every time I talk to someone, whether it's about social media or it's about starting a business, they always bring up the same thing. I have a friend that's starting his business, but first he's trying to get his finances figured out, and he's trying to find an accountant and structure it the same way. And I had to talk with him, and I'm like, what are you trying to figure out? There's no sales. There's nothing to organize. I feel like people always disqualify themselves before they start. They say, well, what about the FDA or the IRS or the UDAF? Well, when I started, I just didn't give an F. And that was the truth. If I would have waited till I had everything I needed to start my business, Trendy Treats would have never had a chance because I was never qualified to do it. I'm good at social media and making videos. I know nothing about labeling a product, so if you bought early on from us, your calories were probably off. I was copy and pasting ingredients from Skittles because it was the same product. Sometimes I didn't use gloves, there was cats in the kitchen. But no one's coming after you, and I know it sounds funny, but you should do things right. But if you look for everything that disqualifies you from getting started, you're never going to do it. Truth is I'm not qualified to be doing what I'm doing today, and I'm never going to be qualified to do what I'm going to do tomorrow, because that's how businesses win. While you're trying to figure out everything to get started, someone less qualified than you already did it. And those are the people winning. That's why we had a chance at success. I'm underqualified for what I'm doing today, and I hope I'm always underqualified for what I'm doing next, because that means that I'm growing. That's what's kept us in business. This is a list of things I didn't understand 5 years ago. And it's not just a list of random things, it's a list of things I've had to do to take my business from 0 sales to 5 million in sales. Every single one of these things has been intimidating. And today I face different things that I don't know, that sometimes want to make me stop. There's a resource that I wouldn't have been able to do it without. If you guys want to take a picture of it, it's completely free, it's online, I found it. I don't want to gatekeep, but I wouldn't have been able to do this without this. It taught me a lot. I would say everything I know about social media, everything I know about manufacturing, everything I know about food products and labeling. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but this is where I've learned everything that has allowed me to be invited to be on this stage today. To take you back to that moment in my kitchen with my executive operations manager and my co-founder that I recruited from Texas University with a marketing degree, which is a nicer way to say my hot college girlfriend at the time, that was helping me package orders on the floor. The way we were able to take our business off the ground was by posting every single day. At the beginning, we were trying to hire influencers. We were trying to work with creators. I was paying videographers to come in and shoot commercials while I try to handle some of the business stuff. And then one day she started applying for jobs. And I was like, oh, no, this is gonna work. We need to take this off. This was our dream. What happened? I promised her that if we gave the next 3 months to our business in full dedication, she was free to leave after that. She could go do anything she wants, but we both wanted this to win. Deep down inside, it's something that brought us together. During a time of lockdowns and social distancing, we never felt more connected. We were chatting with our audience, we were connecting with fans, we were making videos, we were packaging orders. You didn't have to have a freeze dryer to see your favorite candy freeze dried if you were watching our videos. Every single thing a kid commented, we freeze-dried. And kids get really creative. I freeze-dried McDonald's, Starbucks, a shoe, a phone, water, ice. My biggest request, I've freeze-dried candy. And after that, I freeze-dried already freeze-dried candy. One freeze dryer grew to 30. We were gonna buy 25, but Cody at Harvest Right said, you know, if you do 30, you'd be our biggest, like, direct to consumer order. I was like, let's do it. Let's go for it. I would say we were growing. We were more successful than when we started. But buying the 30 freeze dryers was the exact same risk as buying one. It was all our money again, being tied up to one thing. And this is the moment we stopped carrying a lot of trending snacks and started focusing on freeze-dried candy because we didn't have enough funding to do both. And this was a huge pivot in our business where we risked it all. And it brought us back to that moment. For some reason, every time I take a big risk on something, it never works that month. I feel like it's like God messing with me. Like, I bought one freeze-dried candy didn't sell, so I panicked and then it sold. It's almost like, do you really want it? I bought 30 freeze dryers, I think for 1 month it wasn't selling. I was panicking. But we kept posting, we focused on our audience, we talked to our consumers, we went live on social media, we packaged every single order, we did customer support. So we constantly listened to all of our consumers. And that's when I realized what our winning product was. It wasn't about freeze-dried, it was about connection. Kids were at home on their social media and they were watching us, they were connecting with us. 100,000 subscribers grew to 1 million. And what seemed like an internet connection grew into a real connection with us meeting our customers and meeting our consumers. I've never felt more connected than I did then. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned was to name yourself wisely. We thought about naming ourselves freeze-dried treats or something along those lines, but that wasn't us. We were a marketplace for trending snacks. We were content creators. We were taking everything that was trending and making videos around it and offering it on our website. And that's when we, again, made a really big purchase and bought the domain trendytreats.com. Something about buying domains that feels good to me, I don't know why. When we bought Trendy Treats, we made the decision that we were always going to focus on trending snacks. And that's what we were going to base our business around. Bringing the best experience to people around the world and allowing them to try what's trending on social media, not just watch it. You have to name yourself. There's a big difference between being a brand and being a manufacturer. I remember I went with one of my mentors, Joe, a person I really look up to who does manufacturing. And I told him, I'm like, I think I want to be a manufacturer. We have machines. My wife's kind of running operations. It's working well. I'm doing media. And he told me, manufacturing is the hardest thing you'll ever do. Like every other question I would go to a mentor for, I didn't believe him. I'm like, it might be hard, but it's not hard for me. And that's when I say we got into one of the hardest battles. Manufacturing is tough. It's not for everyone. But there's awesome companies today that are here that have allowed us to manufacture at a smaller scale. If it weren't for the home freeze dryer unit, I would have never been able to freeze dry something in my house. And that's why innovation is awesome, because it's allowed us, a smaller group, to test things with machines that big corporations aren't doing. And that's why freeze-dried candy was born. Because of crazy people like you who go and buy a $3,000 machine. What are you doing? And then sticking candy in it. What are we thinking? Why are we sticking candy in that thing? It's to save food for the future, from what I know. I've actually never used it for that. I only know it for candy. Going for 100,000 in sales is different than going for 100 million. If your goal is to freeze dry out of your house and make an extra $1,000 every single month, that's what you should go for if that's what's going to make you happy. Define your success. I remember getting to 1 million in sales and then going for 5 and then thinking, why did I ever want this? This is insane. It's a different battle, and it depends what you go for. Whether you want to be a brand or a manufacturer, whether you want to aim for 100,000 in sales or 100 million in sales. You have to name yourself. Am I in it 100% for the freeze dried? Am I sticking to one category? And I don't think you need to have the answer now, but I think it's something that you should define and try to figure out what is your success. Just because you see me doing well on social media doesn't mean you need to go and try to do well on social media. The companies that compete with us that outperformed Trendy Treats last year, they're not going for social media, they're going for retail, because that's where they beat me. And I applaud them for that, because they're going after what they're good at. There's no wrong or right way to be successful, and there's many different definitions of success. So make sure you name yourself correctly, figure out what you want to go after, and realize that there's a million ways to get there. When we hit $1 million in sales our second year of business, I realized one thing. The company outgrew me. It outgrew my talents, my skills. It outgrew who I was. The Zeus that was good at losing money was making money now. It's a big change from managing 1 employee to managing 30. And I realized that it had not only just outgrown me, but it outgrew my entire team. A customer support agent that was maybe dealing with 100 people was now dealing with 10,000. My wife, who was supplying a local store with maybe a purchase order of 100 units a month, was now fulfilling purchase orders for TJ Maxx with 80,000 units a month. We had no idea what we were doing. And again, we were underqualified. I didn't have proper labeling on my candy. I had a call with It's Sugar, the candy store. I love them because they gave me a chance. First question I got when I got a hold of the buyer was, does your product have proper labeling? Because every single person that pitches me freeze-dried candy has no labeling, and I'm not here to teach anyone how to label their product. What do you think I said? Of course it does. What I needed to do was go to It's Sugar and pick up a candy and see what's labeled behind it. Just throw my ingredients in there, my nutrition facts. I wasn't inventing a new candy. I was just altering it. We got into It's Sugar. We got into different stores. We felt the need to go to conventions, to get into more stores, and I hated it. As much as I enjoy coming up on stage and talking to you, it's really hard for me to stand in one place for 8 hours and talk individually to one person after another. I'm an introvert. I don't like those type of things. And that's when I realized we were doing conventions because we felt like we needed to do them because other companies were doing them. But I had spent more on that convention than I had on any single video I had ever made, and it brought me 0 sales. We got into stores because we doubled down on what we were good at. We were good at social media. We were good at going viral. We were good at building a brand. And that's when I realized what got you here isn't going to get you there. One of the biggest lessons I've learned actually comes from Charles Darwin, which is the survival of the fittest. It's the survival of the most adaptable. Our business model has always changed. Our product has always changed. And what we make for videos has always changed. It's hard when I get asked for projections because it's been a roller coaster. When people ask me, how many views do you think you'll get this year? What subscriber count do you think you'll hit? What are your sales gonna be like? We've launched 3 products every single year. We've carried a collection of up to 1,000 different SKUs on our website, and we've cut that down to just even 25 recently. We've changed video formats because what worked back then isn't working now. What was making us viral in 2020 is not making us viral in 2025. We've always adapted. I think keep the goal the same, but realize that the path to get there is gonna change. It's always changing, and we're always learning. On the 3rd year, we went from 1 million to 5 million, and what I believe got us there was hiring our weakness. One of the biggest mistakes I made was trying to replace myself too fast. I believe I'm good for my ideas, for sparking things, and I constantly messed up and wasted a lot of money trying to hire someone to do that for me so I could do other business things that I'm not good at. I was trying to hire what I'm skilled at, and what you're skilled at is what separates you from a lot of people. You know what's the best thing about hiring yourself? Labor laws don't apply. I can work 100 hours a week and not pay myself and take my business forward. I can sleep in my warehouse. You want a hack to double that? Get your wife involved. Now there's 2 of you not getting paid, working 100 hours a week, taking the business forward. I love my wife. She couldn't be here. We just had a baby, 4 months today. He has no idea of the factory he's growing up in. Don't hire your talent. Double down on your strengths. Some of you here might be good at freeze drying. I hate trying to fix my own freeze dryer. I'm not good at it. Some of you are good at sales. Some of you are good at manufacturing. Some of you are good at branding. Focus on what you're good at, because that's what's going to take your business forward. If you're really good at sales and you take that approach and you try to go out there and sell businesses, you might beat me, because I'm not doing that, because I'm really bad at that. I think social media is really important. I think we should all invest in it. I believe we should all learn, and we should all be doing it, right? We should all be taking shots at everything that could work. It's the way we market nowadays. But don't let the hype around social media blind you from what you're good at, from what could work. Remember, the companies outperforming my company aren't beating me because they're better at social media. They're beating me because they're better at retail sales, for now. Goes on the new list of things I don't understand. Over the last 5 years, we've grown our social media to roughly over 7 million subscribers. We've had over 5 billion views, currently doing around 300 to 500 million views a month. We entertain kids worldwide. Our goal is to get to 100 million in sales. Our goal is to become an entertainment channel, to make the world a sweeter place, not just through innovative candy products, but through entertainment and education during a dark time, during a time where there's so many things on social media that are hard to watch. We want to do what we did in 2020, and we want to shine light in darkness and make sure that we're a channel that's safe to watch for kids on social media, with good values behind it, good products, and that's what we're going after.